Hello and welcome to day 3 of the Trust House New Zealand Cycle Classic. The riders this morning will be facing beautiful warm conditions here in Masterton, 1 hour north of our capital city, Wellington, where we'll be heading on Sunday for the tour's final stage. 123 k's from Martinborough. There's one King of the Mountains climb on the top of Millers Road. And the riders will then head on to a very fast circuit in Martinborough through the town where they'll complete 9 laps of this very fast finishing circuit.
Yesterday you had really one clear message for the team, was to make sure they had someone in the break. That didn't happen, so it must have been really frustrating.
Well, the message was go on the break if the 2 strongest teams are represented, and that was obviously the New Zealand cycling team and Black Spoke cycling. And yeah, unfortunately they managed to get in the break and we missed it, so there's only one thing that we can do there, and that's try and close the gap down.
So what happens in a race like this? Like, 2 really strong teams, your own team, the New Zealand Cycling Project team, both missed the break. You know, how does that happen?
Yeah, well, I remember they came back for bottles, the guys, and I asked the question straight away, who do you think's going to chase? And they instantly said Black Spoke. So that gave me the feeling that I don't think they know the absolute composition of the team. So I think they must have missed that Black Spoke had actually made the break. So and then again, there's no radios, so I had to go up to the head commissaire, Zach, and ask, can I talk to my riders please, because I needed to get a message across that, guys, everyone's there, you know, the important guys apart from us, we need to start chasing this before the gap becomes ridiculously big. And they didn't know, they honestly didn't know that Black Spoke had made the group, and so then it was like panic stations.
So how do you find directing a team at this level race, which is a big race for our region, versus being on the world tour when you have got communication with the riders? Yeah,
it's definitely a it's fun. Like, let's put it first and foremost, it's really fun, and you can see a lot of indecision, and it just takes a lot more time to get the message through. Again, things like yesterday, how many guys I would put on the front to start chasing immediately, versus do I put the whole team on the front? I could communicate that through the radio, whereas this way they had to make the decision. So I think in that essence it's good for the riders themselves to actually have to make some decisions at this level, have to make some decisions on the road for themselves. So, but yeah, at World Tour level, everyone's as strong as everyone else, you know, so it's about numbers. If you've got this team and this team, we have to be represented. So it's the same sort of thing here. If these teams are represented, we have to be represented. Otherwise, you'll see what happens. We have to ride the front and chase it down.
Today's a really exciting stage. We're heading into Martinborough, beautiful wine country, something that you'll be fairly familiar with. And the circuit into the sprint finish, you know, like you see it a lot of times. As a rider, this would have really suited you. So what are the instructions today for the boys?
Yep, exactly. So, you know, on paper, again, it looks like it should be a bunch sprint. Again, I said to the guys, same rules apply as yesterday. If you see those 2 big teams in a break, we have to be present. But I said prepare for a bunch sprint, and I said, you know, we're doing laps, so as a sprinter I'd be like, okay, I'll see the finish numerous times, so I'll get to know what side of the road I want to sprint in. I'll know what direction the wind's coming from, so that when I do open my sprint, I'm not protecting anyone from the wind. So just simple things like that on wind direction, positioning on the road, and when to open the sprint. That's basically what you have to look for.
Well, good luck for the team today.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
So George, yesterday was a pretty tough day for your team and also the Vantage team. You both missed the break.
Yeah, it's pretty gutting, missed the break, because then we have to get on the front for quite a while to try to chase it down, and then obviously we used basically everyone, but luckily enough we had Ben Oliver, who still got up for 5th, so lucky enough. Yeah. How did
that happen? How did you not know that Black Spoke were represented in the break?
Yeah, so we like got on the first move, and then it came back, and then I think because we had 3 guys on the first move, so we used quite a lot of berries like early on, and then when that next move went, and we were probably all sitting way too far back and we just missed it, and then that's the race over really, and then we had to just chase for the rest of the day until it came back.
So today, flatter stage, more of a sprint stage. Ben's right up there on the GC, so you'll just be protecting him today?
Yeah, definitely, and definitely looking for the break today as well. We don't want to miss it again, though we have to chase, so yeah, we'll definitely be fighting for it.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Luke, first day defending the yellow jersey. What are you expecting?
Fireworks. No, it's usually a bunch sprint today. Yeah, there's a lot of time bonuses on the stage, so we'll be looking to try and grab them, or if not grab them, hopefully a break can soak a few of them up so I can keep my lead. Yeah, Couplands a pretty good sprinter, so yeah, we have to try and yeah, hopefully get a break, soak most of those points, most of the second.
So we talked to Greg Henderson earlier today, and he said they didn't realise you were in the break. So how do you manage to sneak into these without teams knowing you're there?
I just get real real small, and then they can't see me. But yeah, I'm not sure how they didn't know I was there. But it was the plan for me to try and get in the break, put pressure on a lot of the other teams, and yeah, that's what we did, and it paid off in the end.
So when we come through Martinborough, you've got those three sprints, there's time bonuses on those. You've got Gatey going pretty well, sprinting as well. You can sprint really well up against Corbin. So you'll also, if you're all there, who will you be trying to, from your team, to get the bonuses?
Both of us. yeah. It is a hard one because you can't. Gatey's a real talented rider, so he still could win this tour. So we need to keep him taking over the seconds to try and close his gap to Corbin. But yeah, again, on myself, I need to try and keep the bonus seconds ticking along to keep away from Corbin. So yeah, but then again, there's other riders in the race that are really dangerous, and we have to make sure they're not getting up the road and taking all those seconds. So it's just, yeah, it's a lot of tactics.
Good luck. It's going to be a great race.
Cheers. Thanks.
Well, we've heard from Greg Henderson and the tour leader Luke Mudgway, George Jackson as well, with their thoughts on what's going to happen. Lots of options on this stage. As I said in the intro, it's a stage that's usually for the sprinters, but a breakaway usually gets established, and then the teams start pulling it back and try and set it up for their sprinters. So a lot to ride for, a lot for Luke Mudgway to think about today. There's 3 Wiz Wireless point sprints out there on the road that carry time bonuses, plus the time bonuses at the stage finish. Wearing the King of the Mountains jersey is Ollie Jones. He's just looking after that today, the Mitre 10 Mega King of the Mountains jersey. Of course, it's also on the shoulders right now of Luke Mudgway. And as the flag drops, as expected, the action starts straight away with yesterday's most aggressive rider, Toby Atkins, going on the attack, trying to defend that jersey maybe, or at least trying to keep it in the Couplands Bakery team. So great shots here from the back of George Jackson's bike as we see an attack by the Vantage team down the right-hand side of the road as we look at it. So again, the temperature will play a big part in today's race. The wind is not too bad. There'll be some cross-tail, cross-side winds for the riders to deal with, but nothing too challenging. Temperatures will be up around 27, 28 degrees. So once again, getting the feeding right, getting enough hydration. As we see yet another rider trying to attack off the front of the peloton. Yesterday it took a long time before the break got established. So today we'll see, as we see the Capjacks Castelli riders on the front. Their team director, Logan Griffin, will no doubt have told them to go on the attack. There's a Ruben Thompson. Keep an eye on him tomorrow, the Queen Stage tomorrow as we head to Admiral's Hill. So he'll be looking for a fairly comfortable day in the bunch. The St. George cycling team just leading the peloton. So far, no riders have been able to get away off the front and establish a breakaway. As the motorbike goes past, the pace is on, the front being strung out in Indian file. It looks like the figure of Michael Vink or Bailey O'Donnell representing the St. George cycling team. 30 kilometres covered, feeding starts, and at last the breakaway has been established. And what a breakaway it is. What a group of riders to have in the break. There's only 3 of them. They might have liked a couple more riders for company. That's Glenn Hayden from Wanganui, the National Club Time Trial champion at 37 years of age. Hayden McCormick, it's a rider who's super talented, rode on the Lotto team for so long, on their development team, and is just trying to, I guess, get established. He was on the Black Spoke Pro Cycling team last season. At the moment he's in the colours of Kiwi Velo, the black with the orange stripes, and in the all black the Vantage rider is Regan Goff. As we have a look at George Jackson coming over the little climb, and the peloton, well, they're not going full gas, they're bunched up, so they're quite comfortable with the brake. Of course, traditionally this stage has been a stage for the sprinters. Last year, Jensen Plowright just getting up to win by the narrowest of margins. And talk amongst the riders and the directors today was they expect the same thing to happen. But look at the speed. These guys are travelling at just over 55 kilometres an hour right now. Hayden McCormick, Regan Goff's on the front, Glenn Hayden working well together. Their lead is growing all the time. We get some time checks from the race radio tour. Marty Houston sending us out the information. And the break is now heading towards the 2.5 minute mark as they turn and head towards Martinborough. Once they get into wine country, they'll know what the gap is and they get on that finishing circuit. Couplands Bakery on the front of the peloton. They won't be too worried. They've got someone in the break, exactly what they wanted. So we see Joel Yates back at the Black Spoke team car, taking on more water for the team. So doing a fantastic job as one of the domestics for the tour leader. Joel Yates works tirelessly for other riders on so many occasions. The 3 riders have hit town. They're into Martinborough. 9 laps to go on this circuit. The Capjack's rider is trying to bridge across, but the riders out front just too strong. He'll be absorbed by the peloton. Great aerial shot there of the peloton going through Ross Castle, waving the flags on the little island as they go through the chicane. And it's Black Spoke Pro Cycling Academy in control of the peloton. But 3 minutes is the gap back to the peloton from these leading 3 riders. They certainly haven't slowed down. They're in wine country, the vineyards to the left and right of the riders. Beautiful conditions. One of the most picturesque stages of the tour. Fantastic crowds out as well in the hiding under the trees in the park in the centre of Martinborough. Glenn Hayden on the front. It's hard to believe at 37 years of age he is just been getting better and better. 6 laps to go. So right now the 3 riders in the front, if the race was to stop right now, they would be the 3 leaders overall. Glenn Hayden is the virtual tour leader right now. Then Hayden McCormick, Regan Goff would be first, second and third on the general classification. Glenn Hayden started the day just 1 minute and 2 seconds behind Luke Mudgway. At the moment their lead is about 2 minutes 50. Great shot of the peloton coming through, still under the control of the Black Spoke Pro Cycling Academy. Be awesome. Those girls have been out, dressed up, given lots of support. I've seen them on the circuit. I've seen them out on the road. And a huge thanks to the Be Awesome girls for supporting the Trust House New Zealand Cycle Classic. The riders love it. They love the encouragement from the spectators on the side of the road. So the New Zealand Cycling Project, presented by Mitre Q, have sent a rider to the front to help Black Spoke Pro Cycling Academy try and bring this back. 2 laps to go. Glenn Hayden on the front. The lead is now down to 1 minute, inside 1 minute. So he's lost that virtual tour lead, but fighting for the stage. Can the peloton bring them back? They've left it really, really late. And these three know that they can't muck around. So Hayden McCormick goes to the front for Kiwi Velo and just keeps driving it. Regan Goff, well, you'd almost back your house on him taking the stage. A very good track rider, former world junior champion, and of course a world champion in the team's pursuit. McCormick still driving it hard. Regan Goff looking really comfortable in the middle, maybe starting to think about the finish a little bit, but they know the peloton is coming at them. Glenn Hayden, he'll have to try and nip away. He doesn't have the sprint of either Regan Goff or Hayden McCormick, so they're at the top of the course. There we go into the sprint finish, and Regan Goff, he's got it by a couple of bike lengths over Hayden McCormick. Very good ride in the sprint for the bunch sprint. Who's going to come in and take that? Lawrence Pithy was looking pretty good up there. Lawrence Pithy, can he get up for that force? Campbell Stewart, Lawrence Pithy, very close. Ben Oliver was also up there. Well, the peloton, under the control of Black Spoke, couldn't pull it back. And Glenn Hayden put in a terrific ride. New Zealand Cycling Project in the hood for sure. Ollie Jones, Nick Kurzagoo congratulating Regan Goff. And up onto the podium, Glenn Hayden, Regan Goff, and Glenn Hayden receiving the Mobile Communications Services red jersey for the most aggressive rider on the stage. Corbin Strong keeps the Fagan Motors under 23 white jersey. Luke Mudgway in the King of the Mountains jersey, and also retains the Trust House Tour Leaders classification yellow jersey for one more day. Regan Goff in the Wiz Wireless green jersey.